Welcome back to the channel. Who's there? I do apologise for the late start, and I do apologise that we are in horizontal, but hopefully the sound, sorry, in vertical, but nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid, chaps. It's pissed me about again, but I'm here. Just not how the majority would like me to be here, but I am here. Yeah, I've got the new microphones on. Hopefully the sound is amazing now. If it's not, I don't know what to tell you. But why it's gone... What?
You're kind of a blur. Oh.
Who's kind of a blur?
On the other side too.
How's that?
Yeah, better.
How do you know you've not looked?
No, I can see it.
I don't think I was blurry then. Right, who's there? Someone talk to me, please. Please. Because otherwise I don't know what's going on. What's the sound like? Oh, I'm having a nightmare here. Had a very stressful last few days. Hey, Andrew Apple is there. Sound and picture all good. Thank you very much for breaking the silence, mate. That is a weight off my mind. Yeah, we're back to horizontal, back to vertical. Not much I can do about that. E-Rob sounds British. John Mesters, sound is good. Image is sharp, mate. Glad the image is sharp. Glad the sound is sharp. Just a shame that it is vertical. I can't get in. I'm gonna have to read my thing off here. Hold on a minute, chaps. I do apologise. You'd think I'd be getting a bit better by this stage, wouldn't you? But obviously not. Oh, the bloody dogs. We've got a dog outside, and she's on heat, and it's absolute chaos. Dog fighting every few seconds. I have to run after them and chase them, and God, these animals over here. Case, stop it. You're too young to have sex. Oh, Jack Star's in the house. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Amazing, mate. Amazing. Very generous of you, Jack. I'm all over the place now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very generous of you, Jack. I'm all over the place now. Add Just Add 100. Donate $10. E-Rob, dog needs a friend. The dog has a friend. As I just said, there is a female dog which hangs around here, and she's on heat. So it's got all our dogs. Got to understand that it's got all our dogs excited. That's what it is. A right pain in the arse. But and particularly for him, because he's too young to be interested in that kind of thing. But he is interested in that kind of thing. But there you go. What can you do? I'm all over the place. Anyway, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? John Mesters. Can hear the echo. No, you can't, John. It was the echo on my laptop. I've just realised that. I switched it off, brother. How did the quiz go on Monday night? Oh, and I think I've got a name for the new section. How about this? Drum roll. Keeping it real. What do you reckon? Keeping it real. Living the life. Hey, Simon, how are the new mics? Well, you tell me, chaps. This is the first time I've used them, but we tested them the other day, and I tell you what, they're bloody good. I was stood right by the fan on full volume with the microphone straight into it, and you couldn't hear the fan. So, yeah, they are a bit special, mate. They're very much a bit special. Trouble is today, just as I was going to go live at 7, I'm pissing about with these dogs outside. God, they're a pain in the ass. And when I set the mics up, I couldn't get them working. John did warn me about this. They're a lot more complicated than the other ones, but they should be working now. Jack Star, so how is everyone? Hit the like, share the love. Hi from hot as hell, Cheshire. How hot is it in Cheshire, mate? How hot is hot as hell? 30 plus? It's end of time. Good evening. Good evening. It's end of time. How the devil are you? The dog needs a friend, he says. He's got so many friends, it's unbelievable. They just don't come in the house. But we let him out in the mornings, and yeah, he's friendly with all the dogs around here. Although he wasn't friendly today because this bitch, and that's the term, it's the correct term, fellas, because the bitch is on heat, some of the other dogs have, the usually friendly males became aggressive to him because they're competing. And he's not a brave little dog. He came running back to Daddy, but don't worry, Daddy stood up for him. He chased the naughty dogs off, didn't he, Case? Yeah, what do we think about keeping it real? Keeping it real. I haven't got a thumbs up yet. I haven't got anything yet. My chat has dried up. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel? Is this a question for, yeah, okay, I'll tell you now, as it for. Silly thing, really. I had got to the Philippines. I didn't have much to fill my time. And I met Mark Thornton, who interviewed me for his channel. And at the end of the interview, I was a bit intrigued how it all worked and that. I said, so how's it work, this YouTube channel? What you know, because I'd never occurred to me, but I was quite bored at the time because I'd got here, I didn't know any friends or anything. And I was spending time in bars and that during the day. So I thought I need something more constructive to do with my time. But that didn't enter my mind, the you know, the YouTube channel, until I asked him about it, and he said that it's very difficult. Not many people can do it. You've got to have a certain talent. Basically warned me off doing it. So I thought, although I like Mark, don't get me wrong, but I thought I don't like being told what I can and can't do. So I started a YouTube channel, and he was right. It is very difficult. Look at that. Nearly 3 years on, it hasn't really grown at all after the first 6 months. So I take my hat off to Mark. He had, I think he had like 70,000 subscribers. It takes some doing. Erob, going to Palong Bato in September, 3 days. Good. Enjoy. I don't even know where Palong Bato is. Obviously it's in the Philippines, but I couldn't tell you what island. Or is it an island? Jackstar, 30 centigrade, so hot for the UK. Yeah, 30 centigrade is pretty hot for anywhere, mate. Aerob, keeping it real, add Po at the end. Keeping it real, Po. That could be, that might actually work. John Mesters, heard the planned brownout for Sunday is suspended because of the coming typhoon. Yes, it has been suspended. It's been moved to the 19th. But is it really because of the incoming typhoon, or is it because England are playing? I like to think it's because England are playing. But I'm very glad that has been called off, mate, because I did. That would have been a long day, starting at 5 a.m. And then, yeah, I can't spend another day like the last couple of days. You might not see much of Ellen tonight. I am in the doghouse. This World Cup has put a wedge between us, which is not good. So I'm being punished. I'm getting the silent treatment. But to be fair, I deserve it. John Mesters, guess he means Palong Bato Falls in Valencia. Okay. Could be. But would someone go to Palong Bato for 3 days? I think you get bored after a few hours, wouldn't you? Don't know. Maybe there's a resort up there. Adam Fenay, hey Simon, good to catch you live. Hope all is well. Yeah, I've had better weeks, Adam, but yeah, it's not bad, mate. Can't complain, and if I did, who would listen? Although I can't say that now, can I? Because lots of people listen. But then I would be called the whinging Pom. Yes, Valencia. There we go. Case. Stop it. Very demanding little dog. Yeah. This World Cup, I went to watch the England game on Monday, and I knew in advance there would be drinks involved if we won. So I said I'm not going to play pickleball. I told the pickleball people I wasn't going to play that. Didn't I, John? Well in advance. But I said I'll see you all at the quiz. My God, I did not make the quiz. Daytime drinking doesn't deal with me. I got back at about 12, 1 o'clock, and I just slept through. And then yesterday, because an American friend of ours had come to watch the England game. We said we would return the favour, a few of us English guys, and come and support them in the American game. And that turned into a very messy day. I ended up staying with my American friend, and who got me blind drunk. So I was there from 8 till 8. It's too long a day, yeah, Ellen was not best pleased when I got back, and rightly so. But it only happens once every 4 years. John Mesters, Urub enjoy. And because there were Belgians there, we were on the pastis. Never mix your drinks. Although I do like pastis. I'm not sure whether to mention what you mentioned in our messages earlier on, John, because I could ask you a few questions about that. Not sorry, John, Jack, but I don't know if you want people to know what you've done recently. So if you raise the subject, I'll talk about it. If you don't, you won't. I won't. Adam Fente, wow, super pissed, but a lot of fun, I bet. John Mesters, pasties is supposed to be mixed with water. Well, I know that. I'm a cultured man, and we did mix it with water. I liked it. It didn't agree with Lawrence. I think it's fair to say that. Yeah, but it was one of those days, you know, when I didn't think the alcohol had hit me. I was enjoying just sitting there chatting, and as I say, a lot of people, they bang on about the expat community and who wants to, like, you know, spend their days sitting there talking to people who you could talk to in your home country. Well, you can't. I spent the day with an American talking to French and Belgian people and a Danish guy, you know, so it's interesting. But yeah, I do like pasties. I used to like, yeah, but I quite like ouzo. I mean, absinthe, it's all the same thing, isn't it? It's all like aniseed, or anise, as our continental brothers call it. That's the good thing about that being a French bar. It's got quite a few continental drinks there. Not enough water, apparently. You know, I was all right. That's what I couldn't get about. You know what I mean? It's like the other day, it's the weird thing about drinking, isn't it? On the Monday, I had about 6, 7 beers, and it completely wiped me out. And I slept through all day, past the quiz. I woke up about 7:30. And then I couldn't sleep all night because I'd slept all day. So I was up virtually the whole night, just lying there, tossing and turning. 7:30 came. I said to Ellen, like, you know, I'm not even going to drink today. I'll be back in 2 hours. I'm so tired, I want to sleep. Got there, I ordered the American breakfast, and I had a coffee. And then someone bought me a beer, and I said, well, look, I'll have one, but I was just going to have coffee. I was ordering a Coke, and she said, someone's already got you this. So I had it, and I thought, and I had another one. And then I tell you, I didn't feel like it had touched me. It was a weird one. But because everyone else I was with, by about 5 o'clock, they were falling all over the place. Yeah, so it was very strange, but there you go. Not enough water, apparently. John Mesters, you drunk, messaged me. Well, I replied to your message, but I know there were a few small spell checks and that, but that was in the evening, mate. Yeah, it was a messy day, but I can't do it anymore. I feel lousy now. Felt lousy all day, and you say you're feeling lousy. You've got these bloody dogs everywhere. You've got your girlfriend sulking. I've had better days. Well, Adam Fente, 6 months into 2026. Any price increases you have noticed as of late? Yes, it was. It's gone up a lot. It's gone up a lot. Lots of things have gone up, and it's noticeable now. I mean, a San Miguel Light is anywhere between 85 and 95 in most of the bars, whereas 6 months ago, average was 75. You know, all the menus have gone up. Yeah, things have gone up very noticeably since January. First couple of years I was here, I didn't really notice any increases, but I don't know. Yeah, but they really have done now. John Mesters. So who else was cheering for Belgium? There were quite a few, to be honest with you. I mean, of the English contingent, it was me, Alex, and Greg, You know Greg Gimbel. Actually, I shouldn't mention names on here, should I? And another, anyway, I won't mention. But there was a few of us. There were a couple of Americans, but it was mainly Belgians. You know, there were quite a few of our Belgique brothers there. Not many Americans. Living it life. That's always the way it works. When you plan to have one or two, it just snowballs. Yeah, it does, mate. It does, doesn't it? It's like there are some times now I go out when I really don't want to go out. You know, something will be coming up and I think I can't face that. But I always have it in the back of my mind. It's the nights that you don't want to go or you don't want to do something that you have a fantastic time. It's the ones you're looking forward to are always a disappointment. So if I'm really not in the mood now, I tend to go out anyway because I think, you know, that just seems to be the reverse way it works. But yeah, you're right. Rob, judge economy by beer prices. Yeah, it's a good way of doing it, mate. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but it is a good way of doing it. I mean, if you're not, fair enough. But I mean, because you judge it by the things you buy a lot. You know, I mean, when I go shopping, I don't really look at the prices of stuff. I don't really notice, you know, at the end of it. But when it's something that you are buying on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a week, you notice when the prices go up. It's like there's a couple of places I have a cooked breakfast quite regularly. And, you know, you notice when you go to pay the bill, when you're used to it being a certain price, but it's not. So, yeah, to beer particularly, I mean, when I go out, if I go out, I drink San Miguel Light. So, yeah, I've noticed the price of San Miguel Light going up. And then once you notice that, you think, I wonder if other stuff has gone up. And you look and it has. So, yeah, I think beer's as good a guide as anything. I mean, fuel's another one. I mean, because I used to fill the bike up and I'd always say fill it up. And it was always like 200 pesos, 220, something like that. You notice when it's gone up to 400, you know, things like that. So, yeah, I do. I notice the beer prices and I notice the fuel prices. And I notice meals that I regularly have. But I haven't bothered going around the supermarket or whatever and pricing things up. But I imagine lots of stuff has gone up. Jackstar, as what we messaged before, yeah, you can, pal. I'll catch up with the chat in a minute, and then we'll talk about that. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Adam, I see. Yeah, I'm still in my cheap Charlie days, so I always curious about prices. Nothing wrong with that, mate. So am I. I think I always will be to a certain extent. I don't mind so much over here or when I'm in Asia, but when you go back to the UK or something and you see everything's like 10 times the price here, you think, my God, what's all this about? You know what I mean? Then you think about it, it irritates you. Oh, for God's sake, dogs. Come on. Ellen! I think Ellen's going to go out with a stick and chase the dogs away. Yeah, she is. Just hope she doesn't let the kitten out. Oh, this is a stressful time. Dengo Philippines. Hello, mate. How you doing? Hi, you made it a bit late. Yeah, sorry about that. I was having problems with dogs and the microphones. But worth waiting for, surely. It's end of time. San Mig is 1:30 here right now. Hate to pay it, but what can you do when you love a beer? Yeah, for some reason, Dumagetti's always been cheaper on beers. I think you know, it's you know, you go to Cebu, you go to Mobile, and average price is 150. I mean, we're quite lucky like that here for some reason. Adam Fente, hey Jackstar, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, mate. Adam Fente, I think Simon was right, Jackstar. We might get our crypto Christmas this year. Did I say that? Living the life, night out paradox. You're so right.
Do you want all these lights?
No, you can turn them off if you want, sweetie. Where's the cat?
But I don't know.
No, you haven't let her out when you chased after the dog, have you? Are you sure?
No. Yeah.
Are you sure?
It's,
See if you can find her. I'm worried now. Jackstar, Christmas, a crypto Christmas, I hope, buddy. Yeah, I've not looked at the figures, but I have heard a few people comment that I think the expression is the arse has fallen out of crypto. Yeah. Abod Gamer H2S said hi. I always like someone who talks about themselves in the third person. Are you messaging on behalf of Abud Gamer, or are you Abud Gamer? But anyway, welcome, whichever one you are. John Mesters, have they fixed the aircon? No, they haven't fixed the bloody aircon. I thought they had when I made that video the other day. No, don't. This is a very sore, a bone of contention, shall we say. I'm very pissed off about that aircon. No, I say I don't care who knows. Yeah, they did it all, serviced it. Then they told me this one wasn't working. And I'd already, I'd carried on then. And they said they were going to come back at 2 o'clock and fix it. And it was done. I got a message saying everything was done. And they got back and it wasn't fixed. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they said, no, everything else has been done. But the aircon hasn't been done because the price they quoted was too high. So they've done something else. So I'm like, what else have you done? And everything else they'd done was next door. So it's got nothing to do with us in here. It's bizarre. So anyway, that's the answer to that one. John Mesters, shocker, ha ha. Jack Star, Adam, you're a cheap Charlie. I mean, looking at the current crypto prices. Yeah, I mean, is it not the way it works in terms of shares? Hold on a second, I'm just going to get rid of this fella. How do we do this, Ellen? How do I block this guy? He keeps spamming me or whatever it is. Remember we looked at it before?
Remove?
No, that just removes the text. Hide user on this channel. There we go. Right, he should be gone now. Right, he's gone. Silly Billy that he was. Expat crap. Sup lad, hope you're doing well. Oh, what's up, lad? How are you, mate? All is good, really. Adam Fenton banned the guy. Yeah, I've done it, mate. I've done it. John Mesters, troll alert. Yeah, well, the troller's gone. I know. I've worked out how to do the buttons now. He'll have to go and get his kick somewhere else. Yeah, so Jackstar, where are you going to get your furniture from? Jackstar has just bought a house for his daughter, he was telling me earlier on today, and he's just got to furnish it. Do you have an eye for these designs, Jack? Are you going to let it out for her, or is she going to take you shopping and tell you what she wants? Are you an IKEA kind of guy, or are you more traditional kind of stuff? What do you have in mind? Adam Fenay, I've been buying the dip the past 2 months, Jackstar. Almost all out of dry powder. Buying the dip means you're buying it while it's low, yeah? I'm guessing. I'm not that familiar with the terminology, but I thought, yeah, if it's down, is now not the time that you buy it? 599, living in Cambodia for a year, but hard to meet women. Realistically, how long to get a girlfriend, wife that would give you a kid in the fields? Hard question, I know. Well, incredibly quickly, as long as you're not... Are you going to do something about those dogs? You're not. I can hear him growling. When he's growling, that means the dog's back. I guarantee it's outside. Ellen's off to get rid of the dogs again. When he's growling, it means he's come back, that bloody dog. God, the distractions. Yeah, I mean... My advice to you, mate, is don't rush into it. But no, you will struggle to find an easier place than the Philippines to meet a woman. I know Cambodia's hard. The Kumas are a bit more conservative than Thailand, they're conservative in Laos as well. But yeah, you'll get someone incredibly quickly. But my advice to you, take your time and find the right one. I don't think that's something you want to rush into, but hey, up to you. But it will certainly be a lot easier than it would be in Cambodia, that's for sure. Expat crap, 24 hours, LOL. Yeah, you probably without a doubt. Adam Fenton, that's the game. Buy low, sell high. There you go. Jackstar, Adam, I've dumped a bit into USDT, but looking at new projects. Yeah, but the thing with, listen, I'm not belittling Bitcoin. I still don't really understand it. But I suppose the danger with that is you can buy it. I mean, it's not like S&P, 500 shares, is it? You know they're going to go up at some stage. May take a little while. There's no guarantee Bitcoin's going to go back up again, is there? I mean, it probably will. I know nothing about it. But I'm saying that I think that is the danger because it's a relatively unknown quantity. I can see why people would be cautious. That's why I've never got into it myself. Adam, I've bumped. No, I've just read that one. Erob, World Cup keeps beer in demand. I think beer's always in demand, mate. But yeah, sales must go up at the World Cup's on. Mate, she's 23. I'm just letting her pick what she wants. Then I don't get the blame if she don't like it. Probably a very wise way of doing it, mate. Very wise. 99, thanks. Because it was a totally serious question. Yeah, well, yeah, mate. Trust me. It will be very, but take your time for God's sake. It's end of time. XRP for me, that rhymes. Must mean something. Yeah, I've got a couple of good friends who went into XRP. They bought quite a lot when it first. This is a few months ago. I think an issue or something must have come up. When was it? That would have been before Christmas, I think. But they were both getting on it. No idea how it's done since. Expat crap. The issue with Cambodia, looking at the other lads, is when they do manage to hook a cute girl after a month, the girl not speak a drop of English, make you go crazy. Well, it depends on your outlook. Sometimes it's fun to learn another language, but yeah, it is different. I mean, I've heard say that the best place to meet Akuma ladies in like in a massage place, not that kind of massage, but a lot of people seem to meet their girlfriends in there because you get a chance to talk to them. But it can be hard. And I think the old family ties are very strong there. Even stronger than Thailand, I suspect. So you are going to be expected to generally be heavily involved in supporting the family, I believe. But I know a couple of people, who've met Coon, but it's not as easy as over here. I'm sure about that. Jackstar, Adam, whatever I mine these days converts to BTC, and looking for new coins, but with some substance. 99, very true about the English as well. Jackstar, best thing to do with women is don't get any women meet you at the airport. Yeah, it's probably a good move. Get a taxi instead. I know what he means. I'll keep you away from everyone. I mean, that might be something we talk about when we do our... No one has said anything about keeping it real. Don't like that. Keeping it real. Hasn't been a single comment, so I guess people don't like it. I don't know why people are so keen to get long distance relationships and meet people before they come in. I think you're better off, landing and finding. I mean, obviously, no one's going to be as lucky as I am with the wonderful Ellen. I fell on my feet, and there's not a day I don't pinch myself to say, "Am I dreaming?" And she's sitting there mumbling now in Filipino. I'm sure it's something nice, but judging by the scowl, maybe not. I'll just turn the camera around a second.
Oh no!
I wouldn't do that, my love. Adam Fente, I like the move, Jackstar. Just keep BTC for good measure. Everything else is speculation. I'm guessing BTC is Bitcoin. Adam, I gamble with 45% of the daily mine profit, always worth a cheeky gamble. Adam Fente, keeping it real would be a great name for a vlogger in Cambodia. Jackstar, I thought we settled on only fools and expats. Well, we might have done, but until we'd done our first one, I was thinking the other day, but no one liked the idea, just calling it coffee in a chat or beer in a chat, and then each time I would have, because I quite like the Three Wise Monkeys as a title. I don't know if I've floated that one before, but yeah, just and having a different title each week. Only fools and expats, Three Wise Monkeys. Just changing, but keeping it as either coffee in a chat or beer in a chat, because I plan to make it a weekly segment, and there may be times when it's just me, I can't get anyone. And it's a bit weird if I'm calling it Only Fools and Expats, it's just me. There will be times when there'll be two of us. There might be times where there's four of us, you know what I mean? So I was thinking if you keep it with keeping it real or keeping it, or beer and coffee and a chat, whether it covers every base, if you know what I mean. Jackstar, I thought Jackstar nice, Adam, like it. Yeah, that was very good, keeping it real. That was very good. If I was in Cambodia now, I'd be high-fiving you saying that's fantastic, that's what we do. But yeah, it wouldn't really have the same ring here. Living life, she ain't having it, Simon, keep trying. Erob, the dog is quiet now. Yeah, it's because he's not here, he's outside. He's outside, isn't he? Yeah, he's gone. He's out chasing this woman with all the other dogs. They're terrible as well, though. I mean, one of our dogs, our street dog Perry, he's quite brave, but he's old. He's like 12 years old, and he's blind in one eye. So when these other dogs are coming down, like, you know, he will stand his ground, and he will fight, but he loses. So the thing is, he goes out and starts giving it Bobby big bollocks, and he's like, you know, shouting his mouth off and that. And when one of the younger dogs goes for him, up until then, Case is like giving it all that, but then Case squeals and runs off, and then she leaves Perry to do the fighting for him. But then you go out to help, and it's like earlier on I went out to help, and this dog went for me, so I retaliated. But of course, then the other two, they suddenly get brave when that dog runs off, so then they go chasing after it. Of course, then it stands its ground, and it comes chasing them back. So I've got to go out and chase after it. It's nonsense. Jackstar, well, when I come on and do one, I'd like it to be called Only Fools and Expats. Well, when that great day ever comes, Jack, you can call it whatever you like, mate. We'll just be happy to have you on it. John Mesters, beers and banter. See, I knew you've John's got a thing about banter, Belfry banter, beers and banter. But you don't drink, John. I mean, you don't drink, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, we call it beers and banter, and I probably won't. You'll be on your coke. It's like, by here, there was one, bar fines and... what about this? Bar fines and beer mats. Bar fines and beer mats. What do you think, my love? I got it. I'm going to turn the camera around again. Erob, real talk, keeping it up and up. I wish I knew I could do that. Does anyone like beers and banter? I mean, John likes it, so maybe, I don't know, it's ridiculous. You think by now we would have had a name. Adam Fente, I wonder if Vietnam will release a proper retirement visa. If they did, I think that would usurp retirees from Southeast Asia as well as worldwide. I'm not sure that it would, to be honest with you. I think language is still a problem over there. Not for me, but the vast majority of Americans that you meet over here, the primary reason they've come here is because people speak English. And that is not going to change anytime soon in Vietnam. So I'm amazed they haven't done it. I'd have thought by now they would have done. They obviously want people to stay, or they're happy with people staying longer term, because they're letting people do the border runs like there and back straight over. They're letting people extend. You know, they obviously want people there. Do think it's a bit strange that they haven't bought in a retirement visa. But I've thought that for a number of years now, and they've never shown any sign of doing it. So I don't know. Armin Baron. Sayu. Okay. Don't know what that is. Expat Craps. The Brit Philippines life through eyes of expat shared his story. The Brit Philippines life through the eyes of an expat shared his story. He spent 5 million pesos on a girl who was already married to someone else. When did he share that story? Oh, a few people were talking to me about Les. The guy from Thailand with the what is it? Living the dream retired or whatever. They said, why don't you interview him while he's in Dumagetti? And I said, I don't know the guy. I don't know if any of you who suggested that the other day, but he messaged me, or rather this woman messaged me called Philippines Vlogger, and she said, I'm with Les. We're staying in Krita Republic. Can we meet up and collaborate or whatever? And I said, yeah, sure. Tell me when, where, what do you want to do? And never heard from him again. So it nearly happened. I think they've gone now. They're only here on the 7th and the 8th. Don't go Philippines, expats and stupid Yanks. Yeah, I can see a couple of issues with that one. Rob, what's a bar fine? I've got no idea. I have no idea, mate. Someone please elaborate. What is a bar fine? I know someone suggested a while ago we had bar fines in it. No bar fines in Dumagetti, so that would be a strange one. But maybe more of its time, I don't know. Expat crap, she took the house and sold it. Yeah, okay, I get that. I get it was a terrible story, but this was when he first arrived, yeah? This happened because he's been here about 10, 11 years or something, hasn't he? It's not a recent thing you're saying. Never really watched his channel. I watched a couple of them after he mentioned me in one of his, but I just don't really watch other channels. I should watch more of his. I did see a thumbnail the other day, he was done with YouTube, so I was going to watch that, but then something came up. But you see a lot, it's like, number of times I've seen that's me done with YouTube, not his channel, like Sunshine Soldiers, I've had enough. I've gone back and all that, and you watch it, and it very rarely is what it seems. I've never seen anyone actually say they're at the end of it they're done or whatever. They're all back the next week. Be a shame if he has gone though. He's got a good channel. He seems like a nice guy. Paul's in the house. Watch it, Simon. Can't see the like button this time around. There you go. Well, sorry about that, mate. That is probably something to do with it being horizontal. Shouldn't be horizontal, but it is horizontal. It's a right pain in the ass. Shouldn't be vertical, rather, but it is. Colm Farrell, I suggested it. Did you suggest it, Colm? Welcome, Colm. It's your first one. I'm glad to see you in the house, mate. Yeah, it was you that suggested it, wasn't it? Well, you'll have to explain to our friend Rob, what a bar fine is, mate. Expat. He actually did this on his first trip to the Philippines. Then he went home now, his channel based on his second go. Okay. His end of time, do me a favour. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Paul 8612 found it. Oh, found the like button. Well done, mate. I thought you meant you found the video on the other guy's life. Expat crap, you know the channel, right? You know who I'm talking about. Speaking of, yeah, I know the guy. I know the guy. Steve, his name, isn't it? Expat, he recently shared it. Expat, but it occurred before he met this girl. Yeah, it'd be sad if it was the new girl because he's just had a baby, I think, hasn't he? Jack Star, no, Les is still in Duma. The other couple have gone back to Dipolog. Okay. Well, I misread it because I thought she said we'll be here for the next 7 to 8 days. But then when I read it again, it said on the 7th and 8th. But it was a strange one because it wasn't actually him that contacted me. It was Philippine Vlogging. But she said, I'm here with Les. So I wasn't sure if she wanted to collaborate or he wanted to. But if he's still here, I might message him. But I don't know. I don't know what he's here for. But when she contacted me, I did look at a couple of his videos. I'd never heard of his channel. And I saw him walking up the beach, not the beach, the boulevard in Dipolog. Jack Star, Paul, you have to send super chat to see the thumbs up. Expat, only one way to see the thumbs up. I like your thinking there, Jack. Expat crap, yes. What's a bar fine with a straight face? Don't play poker with Simon. Now the chat has dried up, an embarrassed silence. So keeping it real is not going to be one for the ages, Ellen. Do like these, do like these. There's one of the, I can't remember his name, I'm Jonesy, I think is his handle. I'm terrible with names. He was saying he had a set of these and he put them through the washing machine and they still worked out fantastically. I'm really, really happy with these. It's just like John said, Mr. Mesters is in the chat. It may take me a few months to actually work out how to work them because they're a lot more complicated. But I almost got the Boyo system because it was cheaper, cheap Charlie, but also it was a lot simpler to use, just one button and it was a small, it's like only 5 grams. But no, this is really, these are really nice microphones. Should have got these much sooner. Why did I put it off? And hopefully I've got a few interviews lined up now. Couple of very interesting guys I've known for a while, good friends, very successful, one of them. I never asked them before. I was just sure they would say no to an interview. But I asked both of them this last week or so and they'd be like, yeah, no problem, mate. Whatever you want to do, if we can help, we'll help. But then the bloody World Cup came and screwed everything up because there you go. He said the time. That's a rough neighbourhood I live in, Simon. Every time I close a window, I catch someone's fingers. That's a rough neighbourhood I live in, Simon. Every time I close a window, I catch someone's fingers. I get that, very good, very good. But I don't know what you said that in relationship to. Is that my, I do apologise. I find it very confusing reading these messages. Living live, did you catch the Argentina match? No, God, no, mate. I was out for the count when I got back yesterday. I mean, been on it for like over 12 hours, so no. But I do know that I didn't watch any football. I've not watched any games other than the ones I've gone to watch in the Octagon Bar. But I know what happened. I know I was talking to someone in the UK today. They were saying they were robbed. 2 goals up. 3rd goal disallowed penalty, for no reason. And then bloody Argentina came back and then had a goal stand, even though almost the identical thing had happened. Outrageous. This World Cup's a joke. I mean, I've got a very good American friend who we went to support to watch the American game. And he said straight away, he said, I hope we lose because it's not right what they've done in terms of turning over that ban. So, I mean, some people are sportsmen. It is a ridiculous the way this has gone. FIFA has always been so corrupt, in my opinion. Got to watch the legal terms, haven't you? Allegedly, there has been quite a lot of wrongdoing going on there. Paul, any regrets reference dogs and cats? Lots of regrets with the dog, mate. Lots of regrets with the dog. If I could do it again, I wouldn't. Cat, absolutely not. She's our baby. She's our baby. I mean, we're committed to the dog now. I love the dog. You know what I mean? He is. But he's just so much work. It's just so intensive.
ADHD.
The little lady just said he has ADHD, and I think she's right. He does. We did Google it the other day. Dogs can have ADHD. I don't think he has. I think he's just young. Ellen keeps saying, why is he not like Perry? Why is he not calm? Well, Perry's 12 and a half years old. That's why. He's only 6 months. Jackstar, Les is an ex-fireman, been in Thailand for many years. Just got his state pension. I only see his channel recently, to be honest. Jackstar, I just had my business tax code from the state sent this morning. So I've busy afternoon setting up bank accounts, etc. Yeah, do they give you any breaks over there? I remember talking to a guy in Sweden. He was British, but he was a taxi driver in Sweden. But he had been to America and he'd met his wife there. Not America, Canada. He got kicked out for something. I don't know what happened, but he had to leave. I don't think he'd done anything wrong. I think it was like just a change in the rules or whatever. But he was saying there, the first 2 years, you don't have to pay any tax, on the business. I'm not sure if you have to pay it after 2 years or you just don't pay any tax the first 2 years. But he was basically saying how much easier it is to be self-employed and run a business in Canada compared to how it is in Sweden, or was in Sweden then. I mean, we're going back to like 2002, 2004, something like that. So a long time ago. May well have changed. Expat crap, JB Morgan just purchased the large parcel land in IT Park and have closed the popular eatery where we all went. Well, that's a shame. Sorry to hear that. Living life, Perry seems like the coolest dog. He is a cool little dog. He's had a tough life, that fella. I mean, we try and spoil him now. I doubt he's ever had it as good as he is with us. So, I mean, he's we're looking after him, but we're committed to him now. I was thinking the other day, because we were thinking about moving. Not as happy here in terms of the landlord and things as we were once before, but I said we'll stay another year. But if we did move, we'd have to take him with us. We couldn't leave him here. Because who would look after him? But I don't know if he'd want to come. I mean, I think he's lived here his whole life, isn't it? It's and the trouble is, I've heard through the grapevine, there's a couple across the way from us, they're animal lovers as well. They've rescued a few dogs over the years and they've got a lot of cats and things, and they used to look after him as well, till I took it on full time. But I think they might be moving in a few months, so if they're not there, I think we'd have to take him with us. Jackstar, do you think with price increases in the Philippine Islands of cost of living, it's going to be hit hard with AI coming stronger and stronger? It's certainly something to think of. I don't know what's going to happen, mate. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I know a lot of the older doomsayers have been suggesting that AI is going to rip the country in half, rip the industry out of it. I don't know, mate. It's strange because Philippines is the second fastest growing economy in Asia. You wouldn't think that living in Dumaguete, because we've not seen many changes. It must be happening on other islands. But then again, a lot of people I've talked to, who've been here a long time, as John was saying in the video as well, that Dumaguete, the locals are getting a lot richer. You see a lot more new bikes, a lot more brand new cars, a lot more, eating out in the more expensive establishments and things. So there's money here amongst the locals. I do think that the price increase, because things are going up a lot here, I do wonder how much of that is because the peso's so weak. I mean, I can't work out whether I'm worse off, now than I was 6 months ago, because everything's gone up, but the pound's got a lot stronger. So I think it's probably the same. In fact, it's affecting me. But yeah, I do wonder if the price increase is because the peso's so weak. Obviously, it's costing them so much more to buy stuff in than it was before. They must be linked, one would have thought. Adam Fente, now where are we going now? I've got to subtract away. Expat crap, any new changes in Dumaguete? Not that I can think of. We had a scheduled brownout at the weekend, but that's this coming weekend, but that has been pushed back a week. The last one we had, I think they pushed that back about 5 months in the end. They kept pushing it back. And it's funny, someone was saying the other day, there's no way they'll have the brownout when England is playing in the World Cup. And I thought he was joking. And I laughed. He said, I'm not joking. He said, I tell you, I guarantee you they will push it back. And I said, because of the England game? He said, yeah. I said, no. And they have done. Now, whether that's coincidental or not, I do not know. But that's the thing. You see, a lot of them, they'll have a brownout, and then someone in authority, a senator or someone, will call them up and say, don't do it this weekend, I'm having a party, or this is happening, or whatever. And it just gets pushed, further down the line. But yeah, the last one, I think it was a good, if John's still there, he'll be able to say, but must have been a good 4 months after it was first proposed that we actually had it. It was put back 2 weeks, then it was put back another week, then it was put back a month, then it was put back another 2 months. It's like, so you never know if they're going to happen or not. If 99 coming over for a 3-week vacation from Cambodia. Where are you going to visit, mate, when you come over? Adam Fente, you're right, Jackstar. I have friends working in call centres in Cebu. I figure AI is taking those jobs in 2 to 5 years. No idea what's going to happen next. Yeah, I've heard a number of people say that, and they may well be right. The service industry in terms of the call centres is the biggest employer over here. So I imagine that's inevitable. Be sad, but I think I'm not sure it'll be that quick. I think, who knows? 99, can't wait to see Duma after all these years of watching YouTube vids. Oh, well, you've already answered my question. You're coming here. Jackstar, need call you out, Simon. You need to man up with the animals. As for going away, stop being a big fanny, take Ellen away and enjoy your life. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I suppose I do at some stage. I mean, yeah, we got a house sitter for our trip to Sicky Hall. Ellen has sorted that out. Although we might, well, anyway, it's, yeah. Adam Fente, but to be fair, there are software companies laying off junior developers back in the States since AI can one-shot problems just as good as senior devs. Yeah, there's lots of people going to be pushed out of it. It's it's quite extraordinary, and it's. I remember reading a thing a long time ago that they reckon that the wages and that will go up in the more creative fields, like low-paid jobs before, like English teachers, art teachers, that kind of thing, will go up. Creative things, whereas the traditionally highly paid jobs like the accountants and doctors and they'll go out the window because AI can do them. In terms of actual knowledge-based jobs, AI can do it better. But in terms of creative and imaginative jobs, the suggestion was they're the ones that will become more in demand for people. I don't know if that's true or not. Brash is in the house. Hey Simon, it's been a little while. Hope you and Ellen are doing great. I reckon a collab with you and Les from Retired Living the Dream would be a great watch. Yeah, well, I'll try and message him. But as I say, I mean, I don't like pressuring people. I don't like putting people out. When I thought he had contacted me, I thought, great, that would be fun. Seems a decent chap, but it's a bit different when he hasn't contacted me. But yeah, might do. I'll have to look his channel up after this. But anyway, I'm glad you're back in the house, Brash. Living a life, strong chat today. Smash the like button. Thank you very much, Living a Life. Much appreciated. We're only on 7. Yeah. So 13 people haven't bothered to hit it. 14, we're on 14 now, and less than half have hit the, or exactly half hit the like button. That means 50% of you don't like me. Or don't like it. Someone has just done it. I've just seen the hearts come up. It's weird though, the hearts come up, but the button doesn't, the like thing doesn't change. Jackstar, yeah, Adam, think where it will hit hard is OFW, as people lose their jobs globally. They won't use they will need work than jobs themselves. Okay. Adam, that's right, Jackstar. I'm doing as much as I can to prep for this new world. Look, I can't read the thing. The thing's in the way. The arrow's in the way. For the new world order. We'll see what's on the other side of the AI horizon. Jackstar, I second that brash. Expat crap. Consider AI lies constantly and take shortcuts. When possible, I think we're longer away than people think, LOL. Yeah, well, based on I've got loads of likes and hearts and all sorts of things coming up, but my actual like has not moved from 7. Very strange. Yeah, I mean, I can only base it on the limited things I use AI for, and I've started using AI for some of my quiz questions now. So I'll ask it to pick 30 questions on a certain subject, and then I'll root through and I'll pick some that I like, and then I'll add some on my own. I'll do like a mix mash. But I'm not joking, a good 10-12% of the questions it gives, it's got the answers wrong. I mean, all it does is it just cherry picks information from sites. So it's like, it won't, and it doesn't double check it. So it will say in one sentence, I don't know, Pakistan has the most glaciers of any country in the world with 7,200. But then in second place, it will have another country which has got 15,000. And you're thinking, well, if it's got 7,000, that's less than 15. And you'll look, but it will just, because it gives the links like an et al., where it sourced the information from. So it's incredibly unreliable on the quiz front. Now, I'm not going to name the guy, but I know another quiz master here who uses AI for his quizzes, and he doesn't check the answers. And invariably, there's always complaints. because they're wrong, you know, and you'll sit and you look and say, that's not right. And it's like, oh, well, the Quizmaster's always right. So, I mean, yeah, based on my experience, AI is nowhere near as good as we are led to believe. But I'm sure it is in other fields, just not necessarily on the Google, AI or the Firefox AI or whichever AI I'm using. Jackstar, I'm not calling anyone out, but Asian don't seem to plan forward, if you get me. No, well, you're right. It's the Buddhism, isn't it? It's live for now, live in the now. That's what the whole thing. That's what the whole culture's about, isn't it? So yeah, you're right. You're right. It is pretty much how it is. Paul, AI. How many said we were all doomed at the millennium first, January 2000? Knee-jerk reactions, then corrections afterwards. Oh, but there will be a hit, mate. I mean, reading a while ago, the government is planning a scheme. They're trying to work out how they could have enough money to pay everyone that loses their jobs £1,100 a month or something like that, which is one of the things that she was looking at. Now, they wouldn't be looking at that because they've calculated that it would be better to do that. It would be less than they would use on benefits and things. But I mean, if they're trying to cost for that kind of thing, you know, they're expecting it to be a bad hit. That's in the UK, not here. Because they don't want to have another situation like the miners' strike. You know, everyone lost their jobs and like, you know, certain towns and cities just collapsed, never recovered. So they're working on ways that they can try and counter that when the AI hits. But and apparently all countries are doing that. You know, it's not just the UK that's looking at it. They're all trying to cost a way around it. I think you've got to tax the AI companies. I mean, the only way you do it is to make it harder for the AI, you know, companies and that to undercut existing workforces. Because all very well saying, you know, market forces and that, you know, we need people to be earning and paying tax into society to build things and pay pensions and stuff. You know, if a technology is going to come along and it's going to put 50% people out of work, that's going to knock the, you know, anyway, let's get out of politics. Expat crap, Jackstar, don't get me started. Jackstar, what UK need is bricklayers who are on like 100k a year. Well, I think there are some in London, mate. I'm sure there are some in London. Colfowl, he seems to like collaborating. Is that Les, is it? Well, I probably left it too late now, but no, I will message him for you guys. I will say I have had a number of requests from some of my loyal subscribers who would like to see us collaborate. Adam Fenner, if bricklaying pays 100k, I'm getting on a treacherous boat towards the UK and getting right to work, mate. I've had some friends who are builders, mate. They're on good money, you know. Oh God, that dog again. So you probably can't hear it with the noise cancellation. Yeah, I mean, I knew bricklayers when I was in London, and we're going back before 2010, 2011, yeah, who were easily earning 60, 70k a year, easily. So I bet they're over the 100k now. I can hear myself in the other room now. Ella's got me on. That's nice. Ellen, I think you need to go and sort the dogs out, sweetie. Unless you guys want to come with me, come and do some dog fighting, I could take the camera with me. It might be exciting. We spend the time, the BPOs here are hemorrhaging jobs. The HR departments are using PIPs to circumvent the stringent labour laws here. Huge unreported layoffs. Wow. Jackstar, expat, you just described a certain government I won't mention or I'll get 3 years in the nick. It's end of time. Also, the inflation rises here are making rival BPO centres like Costa Rica and Bucharest cheaper and more reliable. They've got BPOs in Bucharest, have they? Wow. Bitmonger Asia, social unrest will happen. Yeah, well, yeah, undoubtedly. Be like the return of the Luddites. Expat crap. The businessman and corporations will continue to move Philippines along at pace as the employee is still being paid at under 14k pesos per month. Cheap labour. Adam Fente, that's the dog. Almost sounds like the roosters at the old house. Wait a minute, how can you hear that? You shouldn't hear that with my noise reduction on.
I can hear it.
Can you?
Baby pencil.
But you can't hear the fan or anything, can you?
I don't know. Baby
Um,
pencil. Baby pencil.
Where am I
Is it
now?
on?
Yes, yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, living life. From looking at different rental sites, there seems like there is a tremendous amount of new home construction going on. Is that the case? Yeah, rental prices here, they've gone through the roof in the last year. I mean,
Don't.
what are you doing?
Don't disturb her because she's sleeping.
He just wants to play with her. Calm
Yeah, but
down.
she's sleeping. Let's go to the bedroom, baby.
There you go. You see, the cat was sleeping and the dog's come in and disturbed her. The cat like raised his eyes when it sleep. Now Ellen is picking the cat up and disturbing her and taking her into the bedroom. I don't see the logic myself.
He will just disturb her.
That's right, my lovely. I agree.
Let's go now. Let's go to the bedroom. Come on.
She's fine. She's just going to want to come out again. You can't put a cat where a cat doesn't want to be. They're very
Manga.
independent animals.
I'll play with you if you
Yeah, a lot of construction going on over here. But a lot of places are overpriced here.
Ow.
You know, your typical 2-bedroomed basic house here, not so long ago, in places like Pekong, surrounding areas, went for about 1,500. Now a lot of them are going for like 2,500. But I noticed the ones that are priced at 2,500, they've been on marketplace for a couple of months. So I'm not so sure they're actually going to go. You know, I think people are just getting greedy. I think it will kind of level off. You can still get bargains, but a lot of places I come up now, I look at them and think, are you serious?
Here again.
I know, I could have told you that.
So annoying, these dogs.
There she is, off of her pole to chase the dogs away. She's a brave lady.
I'll stay outside.
What?
I'll stay outside.
She's going to stay outside. She won't give up. She's going to guard the dog. She doesn't like these 2 dogs that are coming round. Trouble is, this bitch. She's on heat, so she comes back here. They're following her. I made the mistake of we feed her because she's like, of course, she comes here and then they just follow her. So she's walking around with like 3 or 4 dogs hanging out the back of her. And of course, as soon as the male dogs come onto the garden, our 2 start trying to defend the place. Bloody nightmare. But bless her, she spent half an hour out there earlier on, well, a good couple of hours rather, outside. I woke up, well, where is she? And she sat out there with a stick. I thought one of them was going to bite me earlier. I went chasing it down the road without my stick, and I realised I didn't have a stick, and it went for Perry, so I shouted at it, and it went for me. I thought, oh, here we go. So I went, come on, you holler, and then went to hit him, and he just fucked off. Thank God, because I did think I was going to end up rolling around with a dog, and he's quite a big dog. When you got the stick in your hand, they just run. And I wouldn't hit any of them with a stick. You just got to pick it up. It's like I've got the broom, and they just disappear. But yeah, I thought that was gonna turn nasty. I'd have bitten him on the nose. Here, Robert, maybe the II data centres will repay the tax lost by ordinary taxpayers. Well, only if they're made to, mate. I mean, that's the point. They're not going to do it unless they're made to. And the trouble is, some governments will bring in things to stop them, say, right, if you're doing that, we're going to whack a huge tax on this, a huge tax on that. But then they will invariably move to another country instead that doesn't do that. And then, it'll be the same effect and it'll be a knock-on. But it's, the reality is there'll be social unrest. You can't have, people need to be able to support themselves and clothe and feed their families. And society's based on that. You can't have a system where they all lose their jobs and can't support themselves. So companies can make higher profits. I mean, it's been tried throughout history, but that's when you end up with revolutions and things. I mean, it's just unworkable. Bitmonger ASA, corporate greed combined with tech ain't going to stop. Sadly, the future is bleak there. Only thing you can do is own corp distributors stock and have a better place. Yeah, well, you can't. That's the old can't beat them, join them mentality. I know, but 99 LOL. We heard the dogs. No fan. Good, you can't hear the fan. That's all right. Jerry Stanley, what's up, mate? Just got here. All the negative UK and US crap feeling like blocking it all. Sometimes media crap. What anti-US, what's going on? I've missed all this. UK and US crap. Pray tell. Adam Fente, no fan, great. I'd like to think I've got a few fans. I know what you mean. I'm up to 8 likes, that's good. It's on time. Living the life. Biggest construction companies like Ayala Land and Phil Invest are rapidly losing share price, stalling projects and refunding pre-deposits. There's a lot of show and not a lot of go. Yeah. John Mesters, 2,500. Guess what you mean is 25k pesos. Well, you guessed correctly, John. There are no flies on you, my Dutch friends. Yes, 25k pesos. Bitmonger Asia, UBI will happen, but only after social unrest. Okay. Rent prices have gone up consistently since the lockdown, now almost double. I don't know, I wasn't in the lockdown, but I've noticed they've gone up a lot more the last 12 months, and I think they did. Yeah, they've definitely gone up more the last 12 months than they did the previous 2 years, in my humble opinion. But as I say, I wasn't here at COVID, so I'm not sure what the prices were before. But I think pretty much everything has gone up in terms of COVID. I mean, people always tell me over here, like, 5 years ago, this was this and that was that, and it was so much cheaper. But I guess that's the way of the world, isn't it? I mean, everywhere's getting more expensive. I mean, things are definitely overpriced here. Definitely overpriced. I mean, some of the house sales that you see on TV are just ridiculous. Some of the, the new builds. I mean, you'd be nuts to buy them. I mean, just not worth it. It's so much better value as things are at the moment to build your own place. I mean, you get the occasional bargain. There's one I've looked at a couple of times. I mean, I don't want to buy a place yet, but there's one new build that I've seen for 4.5 million, which looks all right. But it's been advertised for 4 or 5 months now. But there's some like townhouses in some of the developments over here. Right, pokey little things. And they're like, buy to rent to buy. And at the end of it, you end up paying like close to 3 million for a place that's not worth anywhere near that. So it's, I don't think anyone's going to buy them. I mean, there's a place called Richmond Homes where a friend of mine lives, and I've had another friend live there before. And I don't know, they must have like 100, I'm going to guess, 200 or 300 places there. Like, it's just a big development of townhouses. There's streets and streets of them. And they've been here long before I arrived. And there's some bigger ones. You've either got the 2-bedroom townhouses, or I think there's 3 or 4-bedroom bigger semi-detached ones. And they're nearly all empty. I mean, you go there, they've got security out in the gate, but you drive around, you've got streets and streets with like one resident. They've never been able to fill them because it's just overpriced. Living a life, the rent prices I've seen seem like they are taking a shot in the dark and hoping to get lucky. Do they negotiate? I think some of them. I mean, listen, I'm no expert, mate. I've only rented 2 places here, long term. Well, no, 3. I mean, my first place I was in for a while was Airbnb. But I've always paid what they advertise. I've never tried to knock them down. I've always thought the price is fair. But I know some people who do. Who have knocked them down. I mean, I think the price has got to be over the top, in order to enable you to knock them down. But what usually happens, that's what I'm a bit pissed off about here. Our rent's going to go up soon. I'm not sure quite how much by, but the last place we rented, he said to us, like, I'll never put the rent up while you're here. And I know John might not mind me saying this, or he does, I do, but the place he's been at for a number of years, I think he mentioned in the video, they've never put the rent up for him. He's been here like 9-10 years. So, I think it depends on the person. Bitmonger Asia, how's the UK economy there? There's tons of you brothers here in Thailand. It's, I'm guessing you're not British by that comment. We are there. It's a close-knit English community. We're by far the minority here. I mean, I know. I mean, in Thailand, you know, there's certainly impacted. There's a lot more Brits than there are Americans, but here in Dumaguete, Americans are by far the biggest percentage of the expats over here. Don't know where England would come. What do you reckon, John? Are we second? I don't know, because it's like the circles you move in, but I've got, I don't know, 10, 12 good English friends that I spend a lot of time with, like socialise regularly with. How many of us there are in the grand scale of things, I don't know. It's hard to know. I mean, there will be some Brits who I don't know, or I've not met. But yeah, I mean, Americans by a long way. A lot of Canadians as well. A lot of Scandinavians. You know, there's probably based. I mean, this is all off the top of my head. I think there's probably more Norwegians here than there are Brits, because there's a very active Norwegian community here. Expat crap. Vanguard does an ETF fund that invests in weapons for war. It's secure. Not the most ethical fund though. LOL. Do they really? I'm in a couple of expat. I've got a couple of Vanguard funds. I actually have to phone Vanguard this week. It's a right pain in the arse. I can't log into my account because they want to send me a text message to my English SIM card. And I can't. I think giffgaff have disconnected me. But then I tried to get into my giffgaff account today, and they said they'd send me a link. So and I can't get in that now. So I'm gonna have to phone Vanguard and find out what the hell's going on, because it's annoying. I've not been able to get in there for well over a year. But that's one of the things AI is on. I've got a rough idea what I'm doing, because you can Google in the amount and the fund, and they'll give you a rough idea. But I'm in the 80%. Most of mine's in the 80% life strategy. John Mesters, living life, everything is negotiable here. If 99, if I come for a month, how much for an apartment? 1 bedroom. No idea, mate. I mean, look, you'll have to look on Airbnb. I don't keep abreast of stuff like that. Some places are very expensive on Airbnb though. But I mean, if you book for a month, you'll get like a 30% off or whatever. But it's not the kind of prices I keep up to date with. I see 1 year rental prices. I mean, there are a few hotels here that do that will do you a rate for the month. But if you want an apartment, don't know, mate, is the honest answer for that. You'll have to have a look on Airbnb. Sorry about that, but I really don't know. When I first came here, I rented a place in Sibulan, which was a good deal, I thought. I think it was about 17,500 a month, and it was a 1 bedroom apartment, and obviously included all the bills, electric, internet, all the rest of it and that. And it was okay. I quite liked it there. But that was a good value price, and that's because it was in Sibulan. You know, it's like 9 kilometres out. It wasn't a problem for me because it was very good connections in terms of the bus and the jeepneys and the trikes and things. But there were some other places which did not look any better in Valencia and around, which were like 20, 30, 40, you know, more than 20, around the 30, 40 a month mark. And I would not want to live up in Valencia, you know, just because they're, I mean, it wouldn't matter so much now, I've got my scooters and things, but in terms of transport and all the rest of it, it's much harder up there than it is in Sibulan. And you're right out, you're equally as far out, so, but I don't know, I've not looked in a long time, I couldn't tell you. But as I say, there are some hotels I know over here that will do you a month's rate, but it'll be a hotel room, won't have a kitchen. Erob, keep it real and who let the dogs in? Who let the dogs in? That could be a good one. Paul Smith, Citizen Smith, straighten them out. I would do, mate. I would do. I tell you, yeah. Power to the people. That's what it takes, mate. That's what it takes. It's end of time, not in Manila, John, for rent. You can negotiate hard here. As a side note, there was a Japanese news story that laughed about ramen being more expensive in Manila than Tokyo, overpriced. Yeah, lots of things in Manila are surprisingly expensive. Surprisingly expensive. But then some things are incredibly cheap. I mean, we stayed in Manila. I can't remember the name of the place, but when we went to Thailand, we stayed. We found this hotel, and it didn't have a restaurant or anything. This hotel, or if it did, it was bloody dogs. If it did, it was closed. But it was a sari shop just across next door to it, and we were like about 2 kilometres from the airport tops, and the sari shop was cheaper than the sari shops at Dumaguete. So yeah, I don't know what the actual living cost for, but that was like in a local Filipino area. I know you go to the restaurants and the bars and that, I've heard there. I mean, some of the tourists is twice the price for drinks and meals and things at least. So yeah, I suppose it's like anywhere where you know where to go. Oh, for God's sake. Got to stop showing my arse. Bloody animals. John Mester's 99 months is a tricky because they all like long-term renters. The mess might be Airbnb. Yeah, that's what I reckon, John. You aren't going to get that many places that are going to want to rent for a month. And if they do, they're going to charge you a lot higher than the thingy rent. But I mean, there will be some. I know there's a few places up in Valencia who are quite happy to do that. But I think this is just a rough guess. I would expect to be paying at least 30,000 a month if you're going to rent an apartment for a month. What do you reckon, John? Is that fair to say, or is that too little? Adam Fente, that's one thing I recall. PH never adjusts to current market dynamics. I heard of condo sellers rather holding on to their target price for years instead of lowering. Yeah, that they do. They do. There's evidence of that all the way around it. They won't go down. But that always used to make me laugh in Pattaya, because you get some people that would put a rent for a price. Where I used to live in the Laguna, there would be people there who were selling like the bed sits or the one bedrooms or rent and whatever for like 10,000 pesos a month, and they'd go quite quickly. But then there'd be others who were asking for 12,000 a month, and they'd be advertising it for like 3 or 4 months, and no one would take it. And you're sitting there thinking, do you realise that in the 4 months that you've not rented it, that you've lost, a lot more than if you just dropped the 10 and rented it from day one? It's bizarre. Some people just don't seem to have that mentality. I can't work it out. I mean, I suppose their attitude might be, well, money doesn't matter to them. Well, if money doesn't matter to them, drop the price. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. I mean, my other guy, anyway, I can't, yeah, I don't know. It's, Joey Stanley, over here online, I chat with more Brits, just worked out that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you will find, I mean, the main people that are coming in terms of numbers now is Americans, followed by Indians and South Koreans. And I've said before, the Indians and South Koreans are going somewhere, but they're not coming to Dumaguete. I don't know where they're going. I think a lot of the South Koreans seem to be going to Angeles and Luzon. So, I would not be at all surprised if there are areas in the Philippines where you've got a much higher ratio of Brits than in other places, etc. But I'll ask John, what would you, after Americans, John, what would you say was the which country comes second after the Americans in terms of numbers? $99, just went to Cheap Charlie's a few times last month on Cyber Cow in Pattaya, and it was non-stop Brits, ha ha ha. Oh yeah, well it will be, because that's Cyber Cow, mate. That's the British area. I mean, it's all, and it has always been thus. You're always going to find more Brits than anyone else in Cyber Cow. You go down Walking Street, you're not though. You're going to find a lot more Indians. Cybercow has always been the British part. And I imagine Tree Town is probably quite heavily British as well now. Tree Town wasn't a thing when I lived there. Bitmonger Asia. You going to lease the land, be wary of buying a new place in a development. They tend to fall apart and go to shit. I've seen a lot in Southeast Asia, the 35 years I've been here. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. No, if I... well, it depends. It depends. I would either lease it or put it in Ellen's name. I mean, we're talking about 5-6 years off. And if I did eventually do it, it would be for Ellen's benefit, so she's got a place when I'm gone. I mean, we've talked about it a few times. What I'm thinking of doing at some stage in the future is probably building an apartment with just building like a couple of, just basically 3 apartments. You know, probably 2 on the top and 1 big one on the bottom floor, living there, and then renting the other 2 out, and that can be hers. You know, it can be her income. And then obviously, when I do go, assuming we're still together and she's well and good, she'll have somewhere to live and she'll have an income coming in from the apartments. And I'll shove my pension out. Just something. One of my many thoughts. I mean, you can lease the grant. I would probably lease the lands. I mean, because I think you can do it past 35 years now. I think longer than that, and I'm not going to be around for another 35 years when I get to 60. So, and you just have to link. You know, at the end of the lease, it reverts to. But I mean, I'll talk to lawyers about that. It's end of time. Totally agree, Adam Fente. They will keep an overpriced house rather than rent it for cheaper. They also prefer a foreigner to rent and have a higher face. Bitmonger, if it's imported, you pay a premium. Bitmonger, the closer you are to logistics hubs, things tend to be a bit cheaper. Jack Star, I have no... Yeah, it's weird though, that. It's like some strange things. When we went up to Ellen's place to pick up the... we went to... Some of you might have seen the vlog. We went there for a fiesta and then we went up the next week to get the generator with Big John. The fuel in that was a lot cheaper there. You know, you're thinking about it. When we left Dumagetti, it was like average around 81, 82 a litre. The further you got out into the sticks, the more the price dropped. You know, that's very unusual. You know, in the UK, it's much cheaper in the cities than it is in the rural areas. Not quite sure why that is, but I noticed that. Jackstar, I have noticed with you saying rent's gone up. The late Mr. Thornton was very proud in saying rents have never gone up in many years. Not sure if it's a money grab, but expats are there as it's cheap. I don't think, mate, I honestly don't think there are many expats here because it's cheap. I really don't think that. I don't think I know a single expat who is here because it's cheap. It just is cheap. I mean, I suppose a chicken egg, maybe because it's cheap, that's why people came in the first place. But, you know, 90% of the guys that you meet here are here because it's where their girlfriends and wives come from. You know, they've met them through work overseas or whatever, and they've come here, and that's the only reason they're here. Nothing to do with the price of the place. It's just where they're from, or like the surrounding areas. Like Ellen, she's from Tanhai. Got a very good friend, his wife's from Pamplona, same as Ellen, you know. They're invariably local girls, and that's why in Dumagetti's been a good balance. You know, they're close enough to see their families and friends and that, but there's enough activity here for, you know, the guys not to get bored with living in the sticks. And another part of it is YouTube. You know, I would love to know, but you'll never know how many people came here because of the vlogs. But I honestly, I don't know. There seems to be this perception that people only live in Dumagetti because it's cheap. I know one of the guys I'm going to interview in the next few weeks. He's a multi-millionaire, you know, in British money. That's not a concern. I don't know. I honestly don't know anyone in our circle of friends who is here because it's cheaper. They're here because they like it. I mean, a lot of guys I know, they've lived in other places. You know, they've lived here, they've tried Bacolod, or they've been in Bacolod, they've come down there, you know, they've tried Cebu or whatever, and they've just preferred it here over anywhere else. And I say, these aren't guys who are short of money. Yeah, but anyway. Bitmonger Asia. Thais do the same with their condos, don't drop prices. It's about face. Could well be. Jackstar, when it's not cheap, they will run to the next country, which... where am I going here? I've jumped past it. The next country, which has a lot of competition these days. Well, as I just said, Jack, I'm not sure you're right, mate, about not being argumentative, but I'm not sure... You're right about that. As I say, I mean, as I said to Adam earlier on, you know, a lot of people here, I think it's a bit silly myself. Language has never bothered me. Didn't put me off moving to Cambodia, didn't put me off moving to Thailand. But a lot of people will not move to another country that doesn't have English. You know, that's their primary thing for being here, particularly the Americans. And a lot of the Americans here, they have ties here. You know, they're ex-military and, you know, they've served here and things. I can't see any of them going, you know. I don't know a single, even if the rents went up 25%, 50% over the next 2 years, I can't think of a single person in my circle of friends who would jump ship because of that. You know, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll all be gone. But I do think I think it's gonna drop. I think they've pushed it about as far as they can, and it's gonna drop down again. And you can still get bargains. I mean, if you keep your eye on Facebook, places will still come back which are a fair price or whatever, but they'll be gone in a couple of days. So you're gonna have to be sharp, but you can still get value. And as I say, I just wonder these ones who, when they see a place come up for 17, 18,000 and it goes just like that, they don't think, oh, my place has been up for 22 for the last 6 months and I can't rent it. Why don't I drop it to 20? But there you go, hey ho. Jerry Stanley, my first month here, didn't know any better Airbnb, 30k plus, very small but nice, downtown Cebu. Yeah, but you're going to pay more, well, I would imagine you pay more in Cebu than you do here, but you'll get somewhere here definitely for 30k. But some places will be nicer than others. Adam Fente, I think their money mentality shows a lack of understanding of time, value of money. But then again, Southeast Asia time and island time is on another dimension. Sabai. Expat crap. I'm off. Thanks for the chat. Was great. Yeah, see you later, mate. Be lucky. Thanks for popping by. Jackstar. Yeah, Munger. It's about face. But if I had 10 properties, I'd rather rent them all at a lower price than have face. You mix your ego with business and you will lose. Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. You've got to take. I mean, you've got to take a commercial view on these things. You know, it's like, you know, cut your lot, you know, it amazes me some people can't see that. It becomes a principle thing for them. I've done that much decoration and that, I think it's worth this. Well, you may think that, but if market forces are telling you otherwise, it's not. It's worth what someone will pay for it. John Mester's second largest group of expats in Duma would either be the Aussies or Koreans, I reckon. Koreans? Where? Where are the Koreans? You might be right on the Aussies. But where are the Koreans? I don't know a single Korean in Dumaguete. We have to talk about this. And I was talking really the other day about the South Koreans and the Chinese and Indians, where do they go to? And she said, you know, Koreans, I know there's a lot of Korean restaurants in Dumaguete these days, but I don't think that's for the Koreans. I think that's because the Filipinos seem to like their Korean barbecues. I've only ever seen one group of Koreans in one of those buffet places, and they were tourists, and they were drunk and loud. John Messers, English and Germans probably third largest community. Yeah, there's a few Germans, but the Norwegians are up there, mate. I'm sure, you know, that when they meet at what do they call it? Soren's place. There were 40 plus the other week. A lot of Scandinavians here. And they are, the vast majority of them are Norwegians. Second, Jackstar, anyway, where are we going now? Anyway, I'm going to BKK as Gio says I can live on fuck all and it's cheaper than the Philippines. Yeah. Yeah. Is he still promoting that that view? Is he still there? I've got no idea what he's doing. That guy. But I know he was saying that a while ago. Bitmonger, nice, good call, the house plan. There you go, thanks, mate. Bitmonger AJ, yeah, that's real strange about Sticks being closer. Is it closer to the port of entry? I doubt it. I think you mean cheaper, but yeah, I was wondering if it's like, in the UK, if they buy like a load of like fuel at a certain time, they've got to sell it at the price they pay for it. Innit? Once it's gone in the system, they can't waive the duty up. It's when the next like tanker comes in, the price goes up. I was wondering if maybe it's like they don't have as much business, so like a tanker full lasts a few weeks there, and they were behind in the in the next load coming in and the increased price. I've got no idea, mate. You corrected it being cheaper. Living a life a lot because of vlogs. Almost everyone I talk to there found Dumagetti on YouTube. They do, mate. They do. I mean, it's like, and a lot of people seem to deny that. I don't understand why. I've talked to a few people and I said, what brought you to Valencia? Was it YouTube? And they say no. And I say, well, what brought you here then? And they're like, well, because it's cooler in the mountains and it's quieter. And I said, well, how do you know? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, you wouldn't have known that about YouTube. I find it very hard to believe that you didn't watch. Well, I used to watch some. Because you know what I mean? Rightly or wrongly, for the benefit or to the detriment of Dumagetti, there's no denying the fact that the YouTubers put it on the map. And again, you've got to remember, there are a lot of people here who say like, it's because it's cheap or whatever. It is actually a retirement hub. It's one of only 5 in the Philippines, so they do make it a lot easier for you to come here. I mean, it's very smooth, the immigration. You never ever in the time I've been here have I been mucked around by an official or, led up the garden path or made to feel that they're not going to stamp your visa or whatever. They do, the powers that be definitely want us here. Whether the majority of the locals do is just an opinion, because who really knows what people think? But I think the majority do here. I've never really encountered much ill feeling. But I could be wrong. I could be fooling myself. But certainly the powers that be want us here. Well, you know that, otherwise they wouldn't have so many easy rules in terms of the extensions and not charging for the express fee and all the rest of the stuff they do here. 99 says, I Spy 250 a month for a nice 1-bedroom here in Siem Reap. I Spy, I think you mean pay, has a decent pool. I'd say at least half of retired 4 years here couldn't really afford Duma with a big lifestyle downgrade. Well, you say that, but if you were to go onto sites like, what do they call it? Numbeo, or I can't remember what the other one's called, and you do comparisons. I mean, they're not very accurate, but if you Google it, they will tell you that the price of life in Siem Reap is more expensive than Dumagetti. Overall. I'll just do it now just to check if that's right. Cost of living Siem Reap to Dumagetti. Let's see what they say. Yeah, Dumagetti and Siem Reap are both highly affordable, but Dumagetti is generally cheaper. Overall living costs in Cambodia can tend to be slightly higher, largely due to elevated utility and private transportation expenses, whereas Dumagetti boasts lower rents and cheaper daily dining. Yeah. So, I mean, you've always got to take these sites with a pinch of salt, but it says here rent a one-bedroom apartment ranges from $150 to $300, 8,700 pesos to 1,400. Utilities, electricity, water, internet add another $50 to $100. A one-bedroom apartment averages 100 to 250 per month in Siem Reap, but Western-style housing can push the budget up to 500. But again, this is just bloody AI. You know, they're using different sites. Dumagetti groceries are inexpensive and local eats are very affordable. Siem Reap restaurants typically cost 15 to 20% more than in the Philippines. Yeah, you know, so I mean, it's a long time since I lived in Siem Reap, so it's hard for me to say, but you know, yeah, it's hard to say. I would say they're comparable. I don't think Dumagetti is cheaper, but I don't think it's a lot more expensive. I think they're probably the same. And me personally, I would rather live in Dumagetti than Siem Reap. What I like about Dumagetti is the fact it's not a holiday destination, where Siem Reap is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice. We've got a lot of very cheap hotels there and nice restaurants and stuff like that in them, but I always find after a few months I get bored in Siem Reap. I've not got bored in Dumagetti, that's all I can say. I mean, I like Pub Street, but after a few months, it just gets old. It gets tired for me. You know, I keep meaning I'll take Ellen there sometime, but it's so difficult to get here from here. I think we'll go to Vietnam on next holiday. But I mean, it's great for like a holiday, Siem Reap. But I much prefer. No offence to anyone, but I much preferred the expat community here than I did to Siem Reap. And this feels more like a place to live than Siem Reap does. But there you go. We're all different. But I certainly don't think there's any, you know, it's horses for courses. Certain things are a bit cheaper there. I mean, the alcohol's a little bit cheaper there, but it's bloody cheap here. But, yeah, anyway, I think I've said my bit. Where are we now? Scott Gein, hooray to New South Wales, they won. Well done, Scott. Welcome to the party, mate. 99. From what I gather, if you admit that they would prefer the Philippines because of English, but not worth. What are you? He wailed because he just bit her.
Yeah, but he was dragging her.
Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to read my things. Have the dogs gone? Right, I've got to read that again. 99. From what? From what I gather, if you admit that they would prefer the Philippines because of English, but not worth the lifestyle trade-offs, Duma not for the poor. I'm a bit lost here. I bet for someone without a girlfriend in the Philippines, Cambodia would actually be better if you've got $700 to $800 budget. Totally workable here. It's workable in the Philippines, mate. But no, yeah, right. Listen, I'm not. It's horses for courses. It really is. You know, I like Cambodia. I like my time there. Siem Reap has got a lot going for it. It's just, I prefer the expat community here overall. I mean, it's like, I liked Sick Hill when I first got there, and that was full of backpackers. I like Pub Street. I like the tourist elements in Siem Reap. But after a while, it got thin, you know, so I mean, but a lot of people don't, I mean, it's like the food in that here. Yeah, the street food here is not great. But it's like, you know, the food has changed here in terms of the restaurant choices, and that's so much over the last few years. There's a lot of good options here now, as I'm sure there are in Siem Reap. Although there were quite a few lousy restaurants, as I recall. I've had some very disappointing meals in Siem Reap on like Pub Street and the tourist areas, but some very good meals in the local hotels. Very reasonably priced ones. Adam Fente, Koreans in Panglao, Cebu and Angeles. I mean, we're talking about Siem Reap. We're going back to that $700, $800. I mean, if you wanted to live in the provinces here, you could live very cheaply. But I wouldn't want to live in the provinces, and it must be the same in Cambodia. I mean, you know, you're saying like, you know, it's cheaper in. There's a lot cheaper places to live in Cambodia than Siem Reap. But Siem Reap's always been good. It's always been cheaper than Phnom Penh or Kampot. Well, I think it was anyway. But so Adam Fenton says Koreans in Panglao, Cebu, and Angeles. There you go. I know Angeles. I've heard that a lot about Angeles. Vlogging in a trilby. Hello, mate. I made a video impersonating you, but I deleted it because of the YouTube policy. I didn't mean to insult you. Well, I don't mind you putting that out, mate. It won't bother me. What YouTube policy? As long as someone doesn't complain, it's not a problem, is it? Anyway, you deleted it now. A video impersonating me. Ellen says, why?
No. Is it impersonating it? Makes me really talk. How?
I don't know. Ellen says impersonating me how?
Or just more
My rugged good looks, my incredible sense of humour. How are you impersonating me? What are you laughing at, woman? Scott Keane, hippie beret for New South Wales, one hooray, he's done it again. Jack Star, Geo, don't get me started, mate. Oh yes, they're not, yeah, Jack and Geo and John are not on good terms. Living a life, do you have the SSRV? No, I don't, mate, I'm a tourist. How many of your mates have the SSRV versus tourist visa? All of the married guys I know are on SRRVs. All of the not married guys I know are on tourist visas, I think. Well, I do know a couple of married guys are on the military one. I can't remember the term for that. But yeah, if you're married, you tend to go on the marriage one. But if you're not, you tend to be a tourist visa. Bitmonger, Siem Reap looks dirt cheap. Bitmonger, arguably better food in Siem Reap. I think you hit the nail on the head with the arguably bit, mate. Arguably. Adam Fente, vibe in Cambodia was a bit sad last year since the border conflict with Thailand. Locals there keep using the word war, which doesn't help. Also, there was some French women found dead in Siem Reap. Well, there you go, Adam. You've lived in... do you think Cambodia is noticeably cheaper than the Philippines? Dumaguete, for example? Alan Fenton's story and investigation felt sketchy. And we are supposedly the safest city in the Philippines in terms of crime. Not sure if I actually buy that, but that is how Dumaguete is marketed these days. Can't speak. Bitmonger Asia. Tourist destinations can get old, especially when you're an expat and not on holiday mode. Yeah, 100%. Rob Sampson, hello from South Carolina. Hello, Rob. How you doing, brother? Dengo Philippines. That don't do UK pension uplift like the Philippines. Who, Cambodia? I know Thailand don't. But I mean, there's ways around that. But there you go. Right, well, God Lord, I've been talking for a long time. The chat has dried up and I've just realised how long I've been talking for. So I am going to knock it on the head, chaps. We are going to try and shoot one of our, we'll give it a couple more minutes. I'm just going to pour myself a Coke. But yes, bang some questions in, please. We're hoping to do a bar finds and bar mats, only fools and expats, beach bums, keeping it real, chewing the fat. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do something this weekend. Stand on me. So hit us with some questions. What would you like us to talk about on our first one? And we might even do a live on a Sunday. Back in one moment while you're writing your questions down. Actually, I can keep talking to you, can't I? There I am. I'm going in. I keep forgetting I've got a microphone on, so which apparently, I'm led to believe, works up to 400 metres. What? What's bad news? Are you serious? Okay, well, we've got a problem then.
I promise. Tonight, and seriously.
You're not going to what?
Not relax.
Well, our house sitters just let us down for our trip to Sikihor. So there you go. That's great, isn't it? I thought she might do. What's her excuse?
Because Morgan moved in from her for work and she needs to be there because her father got arthritis. And I said,
Oh, well, whatever. Sod her. Sod her.
she just doesn't want to. There's too
No.
many excuses.
I know. Well,
Like, I don't understand. She hasn't even paid me yet.
yeah, well, the thing is,
She's thinking
Ellen,
about this and
Ellen, I'm still doing a live. I can't have a conversation with you about a private business while I'm doing a live. I'm wrapping it up now. We can talk then. Bitmonger Asia, where did you live in Thailand? I lived in Jomtien for a little while. The vast majority of my time, about 5 years, was up in Phetchabun, and then I finished off in Buriram. Kaden, pre-retirement age, how much money do you need to move? To move where? Is that going to be the question for our next live, or for our thing? Or are you asking me that question now? 99. I've been in Seattle for 6 months, and it's getting very old. Also, because of language, you really do feel excluded. Yeah, 6 months about enough to me, mate. Rob Sampson, have a good night. Paul, don't shoot the dog. Oh wait, mate, I haven't got a gun. Cheers. Oh, Kaden, only fools and expats. Thank you very much, mate. That will be one of the questions then. That will be one of the questions. Thank you very much. We've got our first question, chaps. Adam Fenner, yeah, I did 7 months last year in SR. I wouldn't live there again as a single man. I found a local or bought a woman. I think I would enjoy the city more, but I wouldn't go back there single. Thing in the Philippines, when I came in January, what is the best route to get to Duma? When I come in January, what is the best route to get to Duma? Well, where are you coming from? I mean, most people, they fly to either Cebu or Manila, and they fly into Duma. I mean, unless you specifically wanted to piss about with ferries and things, but I mean, you can fly to Cebu and get the ferry over. I don't know, mate. I mean, generally, I think depends where you're coming from. I think flights are a bit cheaper and more variety if you're flying into Manila than Cebu. But I mean, you can't fly direct to Dumaguete. You've got to fly somewhere else. And I say, I mean, I don't know. There's probably a lot of options depending where you come from. But that would be the most common route trade, I think. Kaden, the shake from the two Ronnies, Soda. Now that has lost me. Soda? What? John Mesters, then go for either Manila to Duma or Cebu to Duma, depending on where you land. Then go Philippines from Wales. Well, are you going to fly from Cardiff or are you going to go down to London? I don't know. Yeah, well, you can say, John, you can say Wales to Manila. But I mean, my parents live in Wales. You know, they live up in Llandilo. You know, I have never, whenever I visited them, I have never flown to Cardiff. I have always flown to London, Heathrow, and then travelled up on the train. I've never, you know. I assume you can fly to Manila from Cardiff, but the flight's always more expensive and there's a lot more inconvenient times. But I mean, and that's up to him. I don't know what airlines fly it. I mean, well, no one goes direct to that. I mean, that's a fact. But I've got to work out to say your thing. Care Dent BG. Sod her soda. Play on words. No, I get that now. Sorry, I'm a bit slow in the uptake. I was thinking it was a question. Right, anyway, we've got a family crisis, I've just been alerted of, or holiday crisis. So we will have to discuss that and then get back to you. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the live. If you did, smash the like button. If you hadn't subscribed, it'd be fantastic. If you did, Jack, thank you so much for the incredibly generous super chat donation. Very much appreciated, mate. You know, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and be lucky.